Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Three Swords Productions. I'm Nathan, and this is Steven. And tonight, we got the battle of the red-green leaders. It's Law versus Luffy.
Oh, you're right. We're gonna finally figure out which of the two is better. It's been a question I've had.
This will be the definitive proof. We were waiting the entire set for this.
Everyone's been waiting on this video. Now we'll know. We can finally figure out set 2. You ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, and I'm on the Christmas Luffy side because I like to have fun.
Okay, and I'm on the Doggerel Law side because I like that deck.
That's true. Also, playing Doggerah in that deck is fun, so
Yeah.
I'll give you a pass later.
Yeah, thanks.
You
I
do it
appreciate
great.
I appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna be doing some shuffling here for a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, long amounts of shuffling, and it's been fun, but jumping ahead. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, so yeah, we are shuffling tonight. These decks are gonna be very well mixed.
It's
I'll
fine.
tell you.
So I'm on the play here. I'm going first, and if you're mulliganing a hand here, you pretty much want to see Doggerah on one since we're going first, or you want to be able to do some great searching. Make sure you have some of your top. Those are the two big important things for any Law deck. So Bonnies, the Dans, or just hey, I have it already in hand with the 5 drops in the Law. And guess what? I mulliganed and I found Doggerah, baby.
Yeah. So on my side, I actually kept my opening hand. I know we're looking for Namis, we're looking for Bonnies, we're looking for Searchers early on to be able to keep tempo with what our opponent's doing here. We didn't actually have that. We did luckily draw that card. We were holding Nico Robin, though. Nico Robin being one of my favorite cards in this matchup because it actually works with your Luffy ability, where you can untap it and use the ability 2 times in 1 turn. And I think at 4 Dawn, I actually think that that's not too many resources for that to be an effective strategy against. So hopefully we get to see that happen. We're going to see an early Nami here pick up
Promo
Luffy and then add Tony Chopper to the battlefield. So, well, you are untapping and attacking for 5k here.
Yep, looking to fill out the rest of the board with the rest of my Dawn here, so get just the regular attack in, which is just fine, and play out the rest of the hand.
And that is dropping 3 cards on the table, 2 of them Jewelry Bonnie. On the next turn here, you are not going to pick up many losses of resources.
Yeah.
And just 1 turn ahead of my, my ability to play Nico Robin to follow that up. So you're going to get a lot of power here. You're going to get your leader ability all before Nico Robin actually does its thing, making you a little bit weaker.
Yeah. Definitely feeling the power of Doggerah here specifically, being able to get that early extra creature out while also not being attacked. But looks like from your side,
if I were able to be on the play here, I think this Nico Robin play would be quite oppressive for you.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
Because I'm on the draw and I'm going second, I actually think it's a little bit too slow. And the Doggerah really representing the make or break in this matchup right now.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to see, and just 1 card in hand as well, but the Jewelry Bonnies fix all of that.
Yeah, right, like we just committed.
Yeah, so we're going to swing for 5k. I know you're just going to take that attack, of course giving you more resources. However, I think the Jewelry Bonnies represent too much card advantage already, and I'm going to need to be able to close the game out when I need to. So we're going to do that damage now.
Sure.
I think Tony Chopper comes down, and we're going to lean on the Nico Robin on the following turn.
All right, so before we do anything, we're probably going to search for these Bonnies, get some idea of what our top end might look like that we have left. Tap some Dawn, look at the top 5, and see what our options for Supernovas are, and we got a couple.
Going right for that Law. I mean, we know exactly what card is good in this matchup, right?
That's the one that we're going to need to do. We want to save our board from being attacked down with everything, because our opponent has a lot of characters on board right now. We want to be able to not have everything die, maintain still some board status.
Wow, okay, and 5-cost Luffy being the only other 5-drop in your hand. So that Law was critical to this all happening, and this coming together here. So that's a really good pickup, and now we're tapping the second Bonnie. Not quite as powerful of options here.
I do have a Zoro in hand already, so it's optioning for second Zoro, I believe, or for Capone Gang. And I think both are fine.
I think both are fine.
I like Capone Gang, I think, a little bit more, because I'm going to have to build up this board, I think, a little bit after this is about to happen.
Yeah, and that's actually really smart. I'm happy I saw that because, recognizing the power of Nico Robin here to clean up the battlefield on your side, and saying, okay, well, my Capone's going to come down. It's going to be a cheap way to refill the board, and I'm going to be able to continue my pressure with blocker law. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that on camera because I think like the Zoro there is the easy pickup, but recognizing where you're going to be after the Nico Robin on the following turn, and then being able to counter that, knowing that this is what the game is going to be revolving around. I like that quite a bit. So, congratulations, Nathan.
Hey, thanks. I
You
appreciate
finally
it.
did it.
Finally. We finally got there. Yeah, and now it's just I'm doing a little bit of debating on whether this Doggerus should be coming in the first place. I'm going to be picking up the Makino to be able to play the blocker law with my law ability. They have to be differing colors, so to play the play the green one, I have to pick up something red. So it's just debating, hey, am I going to be attacking with this Doggerus? What's this going to be doing? And since Nico Robin's on the board and he's like threatening to be able to untap it with the Luffy, I say, hey, I think it's just okay if I just like attack him with it. There's also options too later on that I could just do the law, bounce and pick up, and instead just play the Capone gang to the board as another blocker in the way. Something that Nico Robbins isn't going to be able to just hack and might have to actually kill instead. I think that's
The Makino gets picked up.
Bonnie.
Law comes down, picks up Jory Bonnie, swap out for Zoro.
Yep. I have a debate here on whether I can attack with the Zoro or hold it back as something that's obviously not tapped at this point. I think I like attacking. My opponent has taken a couple so far. I want them to take a couple more. But also, if my opponent is able to reduce its life in any way, like an Otama, or reduce its power in any way, like an Otama, then the Nico Robins is just going to be able to kill it anyways. So I think attacking ultimately is just fine.
Yep, so we're going to see that come across for 5. Will I counter out or will I take that? So, a lot of good merit here. I think we're still kind of in a resource exchange, so if I decided to counter out, I think that makes sense, but also just taking it makes a lot of sense. So we do pick up the Otama there, so
Yeah.
good. Kind of self-fulfilling prophecy you had there a little bit. You did give me the thing that you were playing around, but
Sure.
that's okay because you did play around it, so now it doesn't
Right.
matter as much, right? So we've got the Otama in hand, but it's not going to be the tool that takes Zoro down exactly.
And then we're also recognizing from your side, I think here on the Luffy side, you took that life also just conceding like, hey, I'm an 8-drop kid deck. At some point, I can just lean on that. So taking the life here is fine.
Yeah.
We'll protect against that in a little
That's
bit.
the exact thought that was in my brain. And also, I did take that life thinking, hey, I'm a little bit safer than, because I'm going to deal a lot of I'm going to clear your board up quite a bit. And you replace the Doggerel with the Capone there. And that actually shored up your board a little bit more than I was expecting. So I think that's actually quite an effective way to play that too. Nico Robin here going to come across and attack for 5k on I think that was on Bonnie.
Yeah, you're attacking the Bonnie, and
if not a block.
Yeah, if your plan is to use the Dawn here to untap with the ability, I want to block this one first, and then when you swing back in, that's all of your Dawn used, and I know exactly what's happening with just a 6 Dawn, 6k. Looks like the same play is going here, attacking in, popping there. I could throw the Capone gang in front of the way, but I like having the blocker, and I have a Bonnie in hand that I've already picked up.
Yeah, and I could have attacked I could have swung 6k over your Zoro, and then use the Bonnie or my own Nami to attack your Jory Bonnie.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm doing 2k over 1k. And you can just 2k out and protect your Bonnie, and I actually think that is about the same.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just have the Capone than you did have the Bonnie, to be honest. So that's kind of why I took that line rather than the more obvious one.
Can we talk one hypothetical? What if instead the Nico Robin attacks in, pops the Capone gang that's there, and you can attack the Bonnie, and then your Luffy can attack the Zoro. That's still 2 cards.
Yeah, so I mean, it just gives you a lot of options to counter out with your
Sure.
hand, where I'm kind of needing to clear things away. So I just took the safest lines. But yes, I mean, I think I had more attacks that could have went on to your characters.
Okay.
So I think there were definitely other better plays than the one that I went with there.
I don't know which is better. It's interesting to me that like look me staring at the opposing board, being like, oh, okay, that's not quite as bad for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, you did lose most of your board there.
I did, yeah.
So, Nico Robin, very effective at doing that. Now, you are able to quickly refill here, and that is a little bit unfortunate for me. So, Bonnie's going to come down, tap, and add a card to your hand. And, oof, that is a grip full of 5 drops that you've assembled over the last 2 turns.
Yeah, now just picking up the starter one, that'll be good later on to be able to do some big attacks to try and get through. on a 5-drop Luffy to get past these blockers and untap it later. Something we can threaten there. It's an interesting thing showing that to our opponent, because now our opponent also has to put that in their mind. They have to put the fear of, I have to play so defensively that I'm ready to play around this specific one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing the rest of the game knowing that you have these the second attack with whatever character you establish. So I will have to play around that, just like you said. I mean, if you put 5-drop Luffy on the table here, then I have to respect that on the following turn, because you're going to be able to swing past my blockers for quite a bit of damage. As you know, if you put Luffy on the table this turn, the following turn, that's 2 attacks for 30k.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can get out of that.
Right.
So we have to respect the Luffy here and actually do what it wants, which is going to jet pistol it.
Yeah. And that's what I opt for here. I have another Luffy in hand, so if something is able to answer it, then it's not too big of a loss. But I commit it this turn to be able to add a bunch of Dawn to it next turn and then untap it with another big attack. My opponent is forced to answer this.
So if we were able to break the board again this turn, I do actually think it represents some progress being made. Oh man, the Bonnie just refills so easily.
It does.
Yeah, I think that Nico Robin was very impressive, but it speaks to the power level, not only of your leader, but of that hand too, was just very good. Bonnie finding the law first search was a chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was really what brought it all together.
It was very nice, yeah. And my leader just not being as efficient at all. Like, this is absolutely, like, I have an immaculate grip here. We say it all the time. And it's just not enough, as your leader is just so efficiently using that Bonnie and searching and being able to play. Like, I will say this is the big difference between our decks right here. My 5-drops cost 5.
That is true. Mine only costs 2, and it is pretty nice for that.
And I think we're seeing the big difference here. So we're going to come across for 7k here. That's going to have to go dome, because there are no characters tapped. You've played around my board control effectively. Not swinging with the Luffy, of course, was very important, and playing into what your opponent knows, also a really effective strategy. So.
Yeah, and I'm just on a little bit of debate right now whether I should be countering on it or not. I'll go for the block in the counter to protect 2 life. Again, you could be a 5-drop Luffy deck, so definitely want to play around not relying on my blockers all the time.
Yeah, I think that was a safe block. I think that was also a safe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that one was better than the other there. I can tell you that I don't have an effective way of pressuring that blocker law.
Yeah.
And even if I did, it's not really what I need to do. I know that you represent the 2 13k strikes next turn.
Exactly.
I have to deal with that now.
Yeah. So. And it looks like you're just debating on what else to do with the rest of the Dawn. Maybe leave it open, maybe play it, and I don't know what you have to play for that.
So I think that attack for 7k, I thought that was going to be enough to get through. If it's 6k, then I think you kind of bait you into it. But you were going to block the whole time. I think that making that an attack for 6k rather than 7, so that I could jet pistol and play Nico Robin, was actually the correct line.
I see. Okay.
But because I did that, I hamstringed myself into a point where now I don't have a great play for the last 2 Dawns. And that actually, it's going to matter quite a bit when I stare down the 2 components on the following turn, and my opponent's still, kind of trying to build up their own board. So, I need to get back to the game here, and missing out on that Nico Robin, I feel like very impactful.
Sure.
Couple of turns. So,
to be fair, the 2 Dawn open at this point now gives me a tiny bit of fear. Things like Red Hawk could really mess up my plans for the entire turn. Whenever you can kill something, and I'm suddenly turned off of having the 5 characters on board for the law. So I do have to now consider options of, like, okay, I have to do everything kind of before I attack, because if he Red Hawks, then my entire plan just kind of gets messed.
Right, learning from that overheat turn.
Yeah, that overheat turn.
Videos back, in a few videos ago. But of course, that is the consolation prize for not being as efficient with these dual color leaders. Your opponent has a plethora of cards in the database to kind of think through and say, all right, what costs 2 Dawns? What is situationally going to win him the game here? How do I play around that? And you can sit there and you can kind of manipulate your opponent into suboptimal lines, try and play around cards that you don't actually have. And this is one of those situations, unfortunately, you're so far ahead of me. The Jory Bonnie's just drawing 1 to 2 cards every turn is giving you enough resources, and I'm not able to do much more than deal with the cards that you're presenting every turn.
Mm-hmm.
We are close to swinging the game here, and maybe if you had 1 less 5-drop in your hand, we might have gotten there, but it is a lot. And the Jory Bonnie just grabbing a new one every single turn. So that is, of course, very powerful.
Something else that's been really lacking from your side is just like one sizable body. Like your board's been full the entire time, but you just need like one of those like 4-drop Zoros or like one of the blocker laws out just to be able to like help pressure down what's going.
Yeah, so we've got 2 blocker laws and an 8-drop in hand, and we're going to lean on that, but unfortunately it's just been, we need to deal with the cards that you're presenting every single turn.
Yeah, I don't think you're misplaying at all.
That's kind of where we are right now. I mean, there was certainly a turn where I wanted to play the blocker law, pick up the Otama, and put out Nico Robin on the table, and I missed that. You needed to deal with the cards that you were presenting already.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do that, but we've had opportunities in the past and just not been able to take them. So I think it's a lot of your positioning that's kind of dictated my course of the game. And I think that's kind of where you fall. I mean, you are the most efficient deck, so just, I think you're kind of putting me in place right now.
Yeah, and I think some amount of this is actually just owed to the turn 1 Dagara. Being able to force out a lot of the aggression that's going on and making you just on the back foot from turn 1.
Right, you were able to get ahead of my Nico Robin and stay ahead of it because of that dog replay.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That was very nice.
But yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of portioning out, playing around Red Hawk here, so trying to figure out what the best course of action is. Actually just doing everything now that we can. You're able to find that blocker law off of the Jewelry Bonnie this turn, so just playing that out now. Then going to probably search again with it. Some more looks at some great cards. And I think that's Capone Gang number 4.
Quite a lot of 1-cost characters in your deck, and you are going to see 4 Capones come down on the table, and it's pretty good. It's my leader is not able to really get around that, and I'm looking at just 1 attack per turn. Unfortunately, as the game progresses, you're doing the law thing where your board gets better and better, and I'm attacking 6Ks suddenly instead of the 1K bodies.
Yep.
And I'm going to feel it as I stumble over the Capones. So 7K comes across, and I definitely know that means a starter law is going to come down. Instead of that, though, you do opt for the... I guess you took your swap.
I'd already used the swap ability because I was playing around the Red Hawk to mess up my board.
Right, so we take that so that on the following turn we can 8-cost Kid and potentially protect it with all the cards in our hand. We are holding quite a bit of 2Ks, so I'm going to try my best to protect every 2K that I have in my hands so that when I play the 8-cost law, it actually means something.
Yeah. Was there any option when you played the 8-cost law to not use the blocker, but this past attack, use 2 2Ks and keep the blocker on the table?
Right. So that's kind of what we're trying to play around, I guess, is not doing that. We want to be able to keep the 2Ks in hand so that we can tap out.
I see.
Still have plenty of those and also represent a blocker, but so that you can't just 8K, 8K, 8K.
Yep.
We actually have plenty of things.
Okay.
Right, and we are going to come across for 6 here just to use that last Dawn efficiently.
Yep, and then figuring out what I might do to it. I don't need this Makino anymore, I don't think. Oh, no.
That 6K was going at the Bonnie.
Yeah,
not the
that.
leaders. So.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense, and the Bonnie will just...
Drop's going to come down. That Bonnie has cost me this whole game, so I'll take the opportunity I have to remove it. And to be able to say, hey, that Bonnie's gone, despite there being 4 blockers on the table, is fun.
It is.
And Nico Robin finally comes down. It's a little bit late, and we are holding a second 8-drop in hand. So, potentially if this first one dies, I do feel like this first one is very well protected here. It's got the blocker. It's got several 2Ks in my hand, so I'm feeling good about that. But if it were to go, I am holding a second one in hand. Otama comes down, and
Otama's pretty good against it.
Changes the math quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that Kid is going to fall pretty easily now thanks to the Otama here.
Yep.
And the fun part is, you just pick the Otama up, and you're going to do it again next turn. So
right?
It is a very nice card there.
Yep, and we're going to do 1 big attack of 12K.
Yep.
Again, he knows about the starter law in my hand, so just representing, hey, you can use your chopper on this, but then you're gonna have to deal with it again. Will you be able to deal with it again?
Will I be able to, for sure? And beyond that too is like you're gonna swap out for this, but you also have the second blocker law to make an attack with. So even if I were to get out of both of them,
Yep.
there's still one additional coming because of the Otama, taking my 8-cost kid all the way down to 6.
Yeah, it could also be my lead attack because I do still have one Dawn open here still as well.
Correct. So yeah, not just one attack, not just 2 with the starter law.
Yeah.
3, and then also a 4th attack on it with your leader, thanks to that
Right.
Otama. So that is a very effective Otama. That's a perfect use of it, really.
Right.
Back in the hand for next turn. We're going to counter out of this attack on our life.
Yep.
Certainly, we did not expect to be defending our life in this situation. So
Right.
that was pretty cool there.
And then, yeah, just have the Nico Robins, which will be able to clean up some amount of the stuff in the way, but it's not going to be able to clear out the stuff that probably truly matters for trying to protect yourself.
That is 3 5-drops on the table. We are not going to be able to clear those out.
It does look like you have a lot of blockers in hand, so that is good. Looks like you have a chopper plus blocker law.
2 of them. Two
Yeah.
blocker laws.
The 8-drop isn't doing you any favors at this point. I've built enough board that's probably going to be a bit awkward and used a lot of your cards, obviously, to have less past turn.
Yeah, so no counter power at this point. We just have to, try and use our board here to create some space, and then a blocker law has to come down. So.
Yep.
Yep, so we're going to go 1 Dawn on Nico Robin to turn its ability online.
Yep.
And then we are going to consider using the leader ability here to untap Nico Robin.
I think you're just going to probably come in on one of these laws.
I think it has to be a 5k attack so that we can spend 4 using our leader ability and still have 5. I think we really do want it to be a 6k attack. We just can't afford it because of our hand exactly.
I think getting me off 1 life here is actually pretty important to your plan anyways. Mm-hmm. You need to have me down to just 2 attacks next turn. So coming in for a life at 5k actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so but it's more important to just remove the board where we can. So now, thanks to leader ability here, we're going to untap the Nico Robin. It will go up to 6k, so we can make this attack now. And this is going to be on law. Destroy the Capone with the Nico Robin ability. That ability is still very nice in this matchup. Certainly, it was not quite enough to get me there.
Right.
The Dogger actually, put you slightly ahead of where Nico Robin could reach.
Yep.
But wow, Nico Robin looks awesome under this Christmas Luffy ability.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, and a strong final turn here too. Put you down to only 2 characters on your board. And I was able to play Law, pick up Otama, and we put out Chopper. So now we've got a 2k in hand as well as a good follow-up on the following turn, and we've established quite a board here.
Yeah. I do have 5-drop Luffy in hand, so gonna do my 3 attacks that are on the board, get any cards out of my opponent that I can, and probably blocks with everything, but suit up for 1 giant attack of 11k here.
Lock there, and then we're thinking, hey, if we can get through this, there's not, he hasn't really picked up any Zoros throughout the game. We've got that, so of course the 1 millionth 5 cost in your hand there, and we're gonna go back to the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2 really fun leaders for sure. I mean, that was a battle of which red-green leader is supreme. I think we all got our answer there.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, but yeah, I think so.
Absolutely crushed under your efficiency. And just my ability to reuse 1 powerful ability is not as good as spam 1 powerful card over and over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the game, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're still watching, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And yeah, we will catch you in the next one. Set 3 is coming up, and I wanted to remind you guys about a live stream that we're going to be doing, a case opening for set 3. So, if you enjoy watching people open boxes, we will have an entire case right after set 3 launch, and we will be live streaming it. So stay tuned for more details about that. Thanks so much, guys. See you next one.
Bye.